sure that I get it correct, my colleague. This is what we're talking about, teamwork up here. Just making sure right in front of I get it correct, my colleague. Here we go. Let's see who's on the name right in front of Thomas. my eyes. So here we go. Thomas is going to let's see who's on the ball to Kader Ned. Andrew Thomas is going to ball to Kader Ned. Ned pulls this away wide off the long on boundary, down to the boundary for 4, and they are dealing in boundaries here, 39 without loss.
Well, it's good going. I mean, they're making some good shots. I haven't seen them play very many rash strokes since they've got to the wicket. They're picking the right balls to hit, and they're dispatching it and picking the gaps.
This one is going all the way onto the bleachers. This is another sunset smasher over the long on boundary.
Playing with so much ease. Like they can hit the ball at their will. But having said that, the bowling is not such impressive. The bowler is just running and bowling. He's not trying to restrict the batsman or anything.
Just want some movement by Ned prior to the delivery, a diamond delivery. Andrew Thomas will be very happy with that.
You get the impression that he's not such of a frontline bowler.
This is a wide outside the off, some chase down by Ned, didn't make contact.
These are the kind of bowlers that in our day we used to say you can buy a wicket. You give somebody who's not a frontline bowler the ball and say, just bowl the ball, just straight up in the air, and you buy a wicket.
Well, he
almost
definitely almost got one in truth. Another diamond delivery.
Ned lost his concentration there. And that's why you give that kind of bowler a ball, because the batsman would relax a little bit, and as soon as you relax, you're gone.
Well, Andrew Thomas is saying that we are not giving him the credit we should, as he comes back now with a very good delivery that beats Ned outside the off with some bunks.
On the field of play is the team that outsmarts or outthinks the other one that's going to do better.
This falls just in front of make it up O.J. Matthews coming in from the mid-wicket boundary. 1 is added to the total at the end of 4. Salpan Breakers, 47 without loss.
I've always said when I played that I'd rather play with 10 men who are thinking than to have a team of 4 or 5 stars who are just playing without registering in their minds what the game is about. Because it is not necessarily the team with the best players that will win, but the team that plays the best cricket on a given day, on a given match, that's going to win. And that's important. And unfortunately, in our modern day cricket, a number of the players do not have that thought process.
Seal Ron Williams, one of the couple twins that we have in this tournament. He comes in now and he's going to be bowling to Ned. 47 without loss. One to Ned as he drives down to the man who is at wideish mid-on, long on. Mikey, we have 3 major versions of cricket. What's your take on 3 different units per representative country?
I'm not necessarily agreeing to that you have to have 3 different versions of your game in terms of the teams, because there are a number of players who can play all 3 formats. And the thing is to pick the best players and let them be part of your team.
Oh, magnificent catch! A really good catch by Shaman Hooper. This is probably his second or third of those types of catches that he has taken in the competition. And this is a big, big wicket in the scheme of things for Darkview Explorers.
A big wicket indeed. An error by Sunil Ambrose. He was on the back foot and should have placed the ball better, because he had all the time in the world to get into position to place it more between the wide long on and the mid wicket, and he just made an error and hit it straight to the man in the wide long on position. But clearly something went wrong. The ball probably didn't come on to him as he wanted to. But this is a big error he made, and this could spell bad for his team.
And after taking that big wicket, this is Williams, Ceylon Williams, coming back with pretty ordinary delivery. Let's see what they call it. Well, it actually came off the bat, off the glove, possibly. The score moves on to 49. 49 for one.
I remember that
50, I'm being told.
I remember that Sunil Ambrose was the man in form in this tournament. He had been leading from the front for his team all the time. So to have played that shot, and that put pressure on Ned, because here is Ned now realizing that he's lost his captain, who is probably the best batsman in the team. He now wanted to take on the role of aggression, and that delivery wasn't for the kind of shot he played at all.
Well, with those two, Ceylon Williams, he's gone to 10 wickets in the tournament. Previous to that, he would have had 8 wickets, a best of 3 for 11, an average of 13.63, and a pretty good economy rate of 8.36.
But he's bowling. He's bowling between wicket and wicket, and that's what is required. He doesn't seem to be turning the ball, at least not in this tournament. But his line is quite good. He's not floating, and the batsmen are making the mistakes.
So the two new batsmen at the crease. On strike now is Donwell Hector, and Ernell Thomas is the non-striker. Good delivery. That's probably the best delivery we've seen from Williams, pitching and coming back into the batsman sharply, and he's probably getting a little bit back into his work now as the over comes to an end. 5 overs are remaining. 51 for 2. 51 for 2 Sop on breakers, Mikey.
That delivery turned very sharply. I was just saying that I hadn't seen him turn his deliveries. He was just bowling on a straight between wicket and wicket. But that one was pitched just outside the off stump, and it cut back very sharply and had the batsman in some trouble, because the batsman thought it was going straight on and was shaping up to cut, and he had to hurry a stroke to defend his wicket. But they lost 2 quick wickets, 2 batsmen who had appeared to be set, and this is going to put pressure on these 2 now. They've got to, first of all, settle in before they start to hit the ball. So it's going to be difficult on them.
Shaman Hooper, who took that good catch to dismiss Ambrose, comes into the attack for a second over.
At the start of the innings, it looked like it was going to be a big 100-run innings, and now we've got to wait to see how these 2 will adjust, because with with Ned and Ambrose going, it really looked like the big total.
Hooper is gonna deliver his first ball to Thomas, who's had a pretty good season as well. Tournament. Oh, that was a good delivery by Shaman Hooper. Describe that for us, Mikey.
Yes, it was pitched just outside the off stump. He slowed it up a bit and had the batsman trying to go for a cut. But that wasn't there for the cut. It bounced a little bit also. So it was a very good delivery.
And he followed up with one similar. It seems as if it was just a little closer to the batsman. He had to play 2 diamond deliveries, valuable commodities.
That's one of the problems when you've got 2 new batsmen at the crease. They've got to start all over again. And the bowlers are at that stage really on top, because they know psychologically they have the advantage.
53 for 2. Thomas is going to get one as he plays this down to the deep square leg boundary. It moves the total on to 54. Thomas 1, Hector 3.
And the boundaries have dried up, and that's going to put them under more pressure. It is true they're picking up the singles, but even though you pick the singles up and you're running between wickets is quite good, you need in between that to get the cover boundaries. When Ned and Ambrose were batting, they were getting those boundaries. Now those boundaries have dried up.
Well, definitely they have. It's 56 for 2 with 4 overs remaining. They would definitely want to have a go in these last 4. Let's see how that is going to transpire.
Well, they may not necessarily have to have a go. They're under pressure, but having a go, they may just take an extra chance and lose a wicket, and they don't want to lose a wicket now. They've already lost 2 valuable wickets, and these 2 are trying to repair the damage. So they'll have to settle in. They'll have to cope with it, take the singles, run between the wickets very quickly, and wait for the loose balls, or if they get some loose balls, and take advantage of those loose balls. Can't afford to give the wickets away at all.
Darren Graves comes back for his second over of this innings, this bowling innings, as it relates to the Dark View Explorers.
Good delivery. It's on the wicket. The batsman was trying to flick him, but it didn't turn. It was going straight through. Just had to defend it in the end.
This one he skies. It looks like Andrew Thomas comes under it, takes a catch, and Hector is gone. The pressure continues to build, Mikey, on the batters.
That's building pressure. You've lost your 2 top batsmen in quick succession. There are 2 new batsmen at the crease. They're trying to get the scoring rate back at the rate that it was earlier. They're torn between 2 minds. Should I be cautious, or should I go on the attack? You can't afford to go on an all-out attack, and that is necessary. You need to get boundaries. You can't depend on the singles alone, and that's what happens when you're under pressure. You're forced to play shots that are not there, and that caused that wicket a while ago.
Rick for Walker now joins Thomas, and Graves halfway through. Thomas, another good delivery, and had to be dealt with accordingly. But they got a single. The score moves on to 57 for 3.
What looked at the start of the innings to be a 100-run total will now probably drop to about 80, 90. And that will be disappointing to the batting team. Good.
What we're seeing here, especially in the case of Walker, he has not had many turns at bat, and so to come into a situation like this now, he will need to get himself in with a couple of deliveries.
And the bowlers are doing a good job. They're bowling right on the penny. They're not bowling any balls too far outside. They're not giving them room outside the off stump. Now bowling down the leg side. They're on the stumps. If you miss, you're out.
Sure, that was almost to him. He came down it very, very late, but at the end he is still there, and they got a single. 58 for 3, 3 overs remaining, Mikey.
And how this game can change. When Ned and Sunil Ambrose were batting, things looked easy. They were going at 7, 8 runs and over, or at one stage 11 runs and over. And now they lost those 2, they lost another, and they're under pressure. They can hardly get the ball off the square because the bowlers have now got on top of the game, and they're without doing anything unusual with the ball. They're just bowling between the wickets on the stumps, and the batsman can't get them away.
Seal Ron Williams, he is coming for his second over, this time from the Beckwith end. 58 for 3. That's the Sarpon Breakers. Swans are wide down the leg side. Score moves up by 1.
Keeper seems to have been struck on his knee, and that's a bad place to get a blow. just below the kneecap.
Good delivery again. This definitely has to be 2. If the fielders on that side of the boundary were all on the boundary, that is the deep square leg and the deep mid wicket. 2 more to the total, 61 for 3.
Well, the captain should be doing some adjustment to his field placing now there, because the bowlers are bowling so steadily. He doesn't need the 2 men deep on the boundary anymore. And you can stop the singles right at short mid wicket there. What a pressure.
A single he did stop, and in this case he also effected a run out.
Look at pressure.
Big pressure again exerted here. And this is another big wicket, because Ernell Thomas, he has had some very good innings for the Sarpong Breakers in this competition.
This game of cricket is a fantastic game, because first few overs, batting team in control, in command, looking to get, as we see it here, 100-run total. Now they've lost what, three wickets, and 61 runs are on the board, 4 wickets now, and they're under so much pressure they don't know what to do. They're torn in between trying to attack or to defend and pick the singles up, and the singles not going to get them anywhere. Except I think the captain should put a little more pressure on them by bringing a couple of fielders in especially on the onside, to stop those singles and force them to try and attack some more.
Dillon Johnson joins Rickford Walker, and there are 2 deliveries. I thought it was 1. There are 2 deliveries remaining in over number 8. I make it there are 3 deliveries in over number 8. I was looking at the wrong column there, Mikey.
Dillon Johnson had shown so much promise in his batting when he just started off. I don't know what happened to him, what went wrong, but his batting seemed to have gone off. And even his bowling, he had a lot of speed. He's now just bowling at medium pace. I'm not sure if he's just bowling this medium pace at this level for this cricket.
Wide, adding 1 more to the total, 63 for 4. Sarpong Breakers inserted by the Darkview Explorers.
It's always sad to see young players with so much promise in Caribbean cricket that would not go on to reach the heights we expect them to reach. Sometimes you don't know what the reason is. You've got to be close to them to find out what's happening. Always have to be close to players.
This one is being played into the wideish long position, and they are going to get 2. This is Rickford Walker. The score moves on to 66 for 4, and we are 1 delivery shy of the end of 7 overs.
And that last shot is a shot that indicates that the batsmen are in 2 minds. They're not sure whether to hit or to defend, because that delivery, he just flicked it. He probably was thinking of hitting harder than that, and he just flicked it. It went up in the air in the mid-wicket area.
67 for 4, Mikey, after 8 overs. At one stage, I'll give you the comparison in terms of where they were. I think they were 46 or 4. So just what, 21 runs off the next 4 overs, and this is definitely what the doctor ordered for Darkview Explorers.
For Darkview Explorers, but not for the Breakers, because they would have wanted to continue the way they started, 11 runs and over in the first few overs. They were in great spirits. Now, what's going to happen? The best batsmen are back in the pavilion. And these 2 are trying to repair the damage. They're torn in between, should I go for a hit, should I attack, or should I try and take the singles?
The young O.J. Matthews is going to have the penultimate over in his responsibility for the Darkview Explorers. Let's see how this over goes.
It's a disappointing total after the great start they had. They were 67 for 4, 8 overs bowled. Very disappointing. Even the loose balls, the batsmen don't seem to be able to get away. That was a little short and outside the off stump. But he tried to hit it too hard, so he just succeeded in hitting it back. It eluded the bowler, and the mid-off picked it up.
DeLon Johnson comes in strike as Matthews continue to operate from our commentary booth end. Two more to the total as that's Johnson just trying to punch that one through the point area.
DeLon Johnson would have loved to come to the wicket when the score was probably in the 80s or 90s with his strength. There again, he's torn between attacking, because that ball was short, but he wasn't in any position to play a very attacking shot, so he was sort of tied up. He scooped it up to mid-on. Luckily, mid-on is that long on, so there's not a chance of losing his wicket there.
9 deliveries remaining in their batting innings. Soap breakers 72 for 4. There's a diamond delivery. Always seem to be difficult when they're pitching and coming into you at this stage because you're looking to free your arms.
Can't get the ball off the square.
So another opportunity goes a begging, Mikey.
That was Lyndon James. He should have taken that. Moved off too slowly. He probably picked it up late. Or he's struggling to move faster because he's put some weight on.
This is a diamond delivery. That was probably the best of the lot in that over. So the Soap breakers end on 74 for 4 after 9 overs, 1 over to come.
Although I think that Lyndon James is making an error not to keep throughout the innings. He's a better keeper than he's a bowler, and he's first team behind the stumps than he is as a bowler. He bowls 2 overs and doesn't get a wicket, or he probably picks up 1 wicket. He has more to add to the team behind the stumps. He's a good keeper, very good keeper.
Mikey is probably going to try to prove you wrong right now as he looks as if he's going to take the ball to complete the bowling inning for his team. 74 for 4, Soap breakers, and they have 1 over to come.
Well, it's who he's bowling at anyhow. He was bowling, he opened the bowling and he bowled at 2 good batsmen. Now he's in the middle lower half of the batting, so he could very well be successful. And even with Lindel's medium pace, I would have thought that he would bring the man in to stop the singles there and put more pressure on the batsmen.
That was Walker squeezing that one out onto the onside, gets a single, 75 for 4.
Probably won't even get to 90 runs, which is a below par score, because this team has been scoring quite well in the tournament so far.
And keeping that one within the 30-yard circle, and 1 more to the total. 76 for 4. 4 deliveries to come. It looks as if Lyndon James and the Dagby bowlers are bowling shot puts, Mr. Mikey.
Call them iron balls. Yes, they are. But in fairness to them, they're bowling a good line and length. They're bowling the deliveries on the stumps, and the batsmen just can't get them away. They're not giving them room, either on the leg side or on the off side.
But this has gone in the wrong slot, but the right slot here for I make it DeLon Johnson, allowed to free his arms. He went through the line, over the wide long on boundary for a sunset smasher. Mikey, I was told that you hit a few of those in your day.
Oh, that's when I was a young man. And the fields were much smaller then. We played at Victoria Park, we played at the grammar school playing field. Sign Hill wasn't as developed as it is now. So we didn't have as many playing fields. I was just telling Butler a while ago that when we played, we used to go and play quite often on Sundays. We'd pick a team up and go out and play against the rural areas, and we played quite a bit at South Rivers. But that was when the South Rivers field was riverbed. And the only place that didn't have a stone, a rock, was the pitch itself. The bowlers had to be running between the stones to deliver. As a keeper, if I wasn't careful, there was a stone right behind me, so I stepped back out, fall over on the stone. But
that's probably how you did develop your agility.
but and we played, we enjoyed the game, and we tried to inspire the players from the rural areas, and I hope we did.
Good comeback, a really good comeback. Yorker land delivery here by Lyndon James. He must be pleased with this comeback. 83 for 4, Mikey. One delivery remaining in this inning.
Well, they've got to 80. I didn't expect them to get to 80. They've got to 80. But it's a disappointing score. The way they started, one expected them to get to 100. And I'm sure if Ned and Ambrish were at the crease still, they're much more advanced. And there's some thoughts that the batting order is wrong, you think? Okay, well, okay.
So Westwick Straw is going to face the final delivery from Lyndon James of the Salt Pond Breakers innings. This is match 3 of match day 8, and we are winding down the preliminary round.
It has been an interesting competition. The first few matches, you could have seen that the players were a little rusty because they hadn't played for a while. But they came along quite well and made it into a very nice competition.
Skying one down to long on, and I want to dare say the safe hands of Shamon Hooper comes around and takes another catch. That's the end of the Salt Pond Breakers innings. They end on 83. I make it 83 for 6. 83 for 6. The Darkview Explorers, they need 84, Mikey, to get into the final 4.
And Lyndon James picked up 2 wickets. Yes. So if they win this game, they're into the semis. And what's the position with the Breakers?
The Breakers have already qualified. Okay. Yes.
Okay. So it's still some interesting cricket to go tomorrow. And Sunday we're in the final. And it's a good effort. I know we have congratulated President Kishore earlier on the effort. It was a fantastic effort. They put all they had into it. They did a good job. They brought the players together. They had the cooperation of the medical authorities here. In the first couple of days, first couple of matches, they weren't allowed to have spectators. But later on, they realized, well, hey, we have a lot of stands at Annesvale, and you could spread them around and still observe the physical distances, which is what they did. So a few people turned up, and that was encouraging. And now that the final weekend is on, a few more people, I'm sure, will turn up tomorrow and Sunday, especially on Sunday. So it has been a great effort. St. Vincent and the Grenadines has got a lot of mileage around the world. People are watching you on the TV. It's being beamed all around the world. They have the Indian subcontinent with a vast population that's watching this. There are a lot of mileage given to St. Vincent. I heard your interview this morning with the official from the Department of Tourism, or the Ministry of Tourism, and they must be very pleased of what's happened here. So it's a great pity is that it has come at a time when we are all under lock and key, as it were, because of the coronavirus epidemic. But just the same, if that hadn't happened, we may not have had the opportunity to have this tournament, because it's a window in the cricket internationally and locally that enabled the Cricket Association to have the cricket. And the fantastic thing, Roxelle, is that it's really tourism oriented. You talk about the names of the teams, they're all named after sites, iconic tourism sites, and you know, you get involved with the distillers and Vincent distillers, and you have your what do you call it, your sunset smashes. You have your Connery Straight Drive. That's fantastic. Whoever thought of this tournament ought to be highly complimented. The ground staff did a good job. They used 3 wickets for the tournament, and except for today, when I saw a couple of balls keeping low, the pitches have played extremely well, which meant that the ground staff put a lot of preparation and a lot of work into preparing the pitches. It was in the middle of the dry season, but the field is not looking too bad. You can still see some green about the field. Of course, they have the river just behind the field that could use to irrigate. So it's an all-round effort, and all those involved ought to be highly complimented. This morning, Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves came out and sat for a while. He had a big interview with you, Roxelle, and then he sat for a while after and looked at the game. And he's a cricket fanatic. I don't know if you realize that he played for Radio and Press when we used to have a firms competition in those days.
When was that?
Well, that's a long time ago. You probably weren't even born yet.
Okay, right.
But we had this firms competition. It was eventually named after St. Lawrence Seymour, one of our cricket statisticians. And it involved the teams from the firms. We played as Radio and Press, and because Dr. Gonsalves at the time wrote a lot in his paper, in his party's paper, he qualified to play for Radio and Press.
Okay.
So every now and again he would play a game, and of course there were times when he would say to us, "I'll stand down this game and let somebody else play." But it was a lot of great fun that we had. And people. Kenneth John used to play. There was still Arthur Williams used to play. People like Doug Cambridge played for us. And I'll give you a story. The captain of the Radio and Press team was Bernard John. And Bernard John he kept wicket too. So what Bernard would do is, I used to bowl a little bit of medium pace, and he would give me the ball to start the innings. And then when I was finished bowling my overs, he'll come up to me and whisper, "I could take over the pads now." But it kept you going. It kept you fit.
Yes.
I had one problem one year at Bayabo. I had my spikes on to open the bowling, and the umpire said to me, and Butler can tell me what the ruling should have been. The umpire said to me, "You can't bowl in your spikes." We weren't playing on a matting. We were playing on the dirt strip. And I said to him, but umpire, I haven't even bowled a ball yet, so you can't tell me I'm running on the pitch. Why can't I use? He said, "You can't use your ball." I said, "Well, no, there's no rule that says I can't use my spike. If I bowl and I run on the pitch, you could tell me I'm running on the pitch and instruct the captain to take me off. You can't tell me I can't bowl." And we stood up there for about 5 minutes, and he won't allow me to bowl my spikes. And I said to him eventually, "All right, I'll take off my spike, but if I'm injured, I'll sue you for it." But I don't know what's the ruling on that. You can't stop a man from bowling his spikes, can you?
Yeah, we will continue that when we come back from the break. As they are going for break now, yes. So we'll continue that.
Yes. So those are some of the fun things we had during our day, Roxelle.
Definitely interesting. And we're talking about T10 cricket here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines at the Arnorsville playing field. The Vincy Premier League, our flavor, our vibe, brought to you by the St. Vincent Grenadines Cricket Association with the compliments of our kind friends, Dream 11, Sportsmax, Populous Global Solutions, Digicel, Fancode, and ITFX SVG.
Our flavor, our vibe, pulsating to the atmosphere. And when the stadium comes to life, you can feel it everywhere. One by one, they're marching out, ready for the back affair. One by one, they marching out, yeah. Hey, Grenadine divers, botanical canoe rangers, black explorers, salt pan breakers, lots of pro hikers, poachers, strikers. Everybody coming in brave and they shouting.
So we are back with the second innings, which is a chase. The final fixture of our round robin here at the VPL. The Salt Pan Breakers are taking on the Darkview Explorers. The Salt Pan Breakers having posted a score of 83. 83 for 6 in their 10 overs. They'll be disappointed with that score, but I am sure the Darkview Explorers will be, ready and willing to get at that runs, because if they win this match, they will be in the semi-finals, and they would be chuffed about that, because they would not have been pleased with their performances in the last few games. So with a win here, it can see them through, and they would be more than willing to chase 84 butts.
Yeah, this is a very interesting stage of the game. We would have seen that this would have been the average score that Darkview would have been getting to in this tournament so far, somewhere between the region of 75 and 85. So they will be fancying themselves to chase this down. We see Cody is opening up the batting. Cody Horn, who is a regular opening batter. So they have changed up things a little bit. So let's see how they go from here.
Yes, and he shapes nicely on that one. Overthrow there conceded by Ned. As the person was backing up there, it seems like Walker, the ball eluded him in his efforts.
Now, one thing you will expect here to see some busy running between the wicket. These two young men are very quick across the pitch, and they are going to be looking to exploit every opportunity to get runs here.
Yes, a good delivery there by Johnson on about off stump, around the top of the off stump, and it was defended neatly there by Horn. And as you said, Butsy, they want to get a good platform here.
Yeah, they will be hoping that these two young men can get them off to a good start, build a foundation with Darkview looking to hold the better part of their experience batting to the back end to finish off the innings for them.
And you could see in that's already a change of tactics, as they will be knowing they know that this is a knockout match for them essentially, and they would want their more experienced players to be there in the crunch part of the match.
Yeah,
when the pressure is on. What
we have seen in the tournament so far, Darkview have batted their first 5 overs really well, but the latter 5 overs have been an issue for them. So they are definitely looking to correct that by putting holding Darren Graves back a bit. Lyndon James he has held himself back a bit as well. He have opened up the bat in a few games. We know they have Andrew Thomas, 3 very experienced guys, and also young Kensley who kept wicket. All of them are Premier Division players. But to go along with those, you have the young, talented, exciting Matthews, who showed us a glimpse yesterday of what he's capable of doing.
Yes, I was very pleased with his approach, and he's very confident. Only 17 years old, but we're very confident. And in the interview, he said he was glad for the opportunity and wanted to show what he was capable of when he was interviewed by Roxell John. All right, Johns will be pleased with that over as he only conceded 2 runs. So that's a good start by the Saltpond Breakers. No wickets down for the Darkview Explorers, so they would not be too perturbed about that, but they would want to get the ball rolling as far as run scoring as soon as possible.
Now Darkview will still be comfortable at this stage. They know that Breakers always look to Dillon to produce on all the wicket, both Dillon and Javid Harry. They always look for them to get a wicket or 2 in the opening overs. So Darkview will be aware of that and looking to rotate the strike, but not do anything rash, but wait on the bad balls and try to put them away. But saying that, I think Saltpond would have missed a bit of a trick in the last 3 or so games of this tournament in the preliminary round. Because here we see they are going into the semi-finals with only 3 batsmen looking anything close to what you will want to see in terms of form. And they had a golden opportunity to switch up the middle order a bit and try a few different guys at different positions to try and get a few more batsmen to get into that.
Yes,
to get into some form to go into the semi-finals. So I'm sure whichever team is going to be playing against Saltpond will be planning well, knowing that these 3 guys at the top are the guys they are going to be depending on a lot.
Yes, and Harry starts off well, quite tight as usual with his line, and there's Hooper turning that one to mid-wicket for a single. And Hooper has played well in the tournament so far, and given the opportunity here, in the last few games to open the batting, he'll want to, in this game, play a leading role in getting his team over the finish line.
Yeah, well, of the 2 open batters, Hooper is probably the guy with the more experience. So, and what he has shown us so far in the tournament is that he's a very smart player. He thinks a lot and he calculates where he's going to take his chances.
A dangerous ploy there by Cody, but he was still able to get down on that at the last moment. We have seen Javid continuously getting the ball in with the arm to the right-handers towards mid and leg, not getting much turn, and at times that has led to the caught behind and also the chopped ons to the wicket and LBWs as well. That is a good shot. Not the best piece of feeling there by the Fiesman, but that is a very good shot there by Cody off the back foot.
Yeah, now this was better execution by young Cody. The previous delivery, he was looking to play a similar type of shot, but the ball was a little bit full and angling into him more. But this one was a bit shorter, and he used the depth of his crease and really punched that one pass to the right of Sunil Ambrose and to the left of the man who was feeling at mid-off. And not the best pieces of work by the fielder there at mid-off, and sped away to the boundary for a well-played 4.
There's a similar length there, and he was looking for a similar shot, except that he was looking more around the mid-on area on this occasion. And there we had an opportunity with the 2 batsmen basically at one end. The call was Cody's call. Didn't seem as if Hooper responded in the affirmative, but it works out well in the end.
Now, what we saw there is Hooper guilty of ball watching. Is Hooper guilty of ball watching and not responding to the call and the only call of Cody, who hit the ball back past Hooper, and Hooper was guilty of turning around and watching the ball rather than paying attention to his partner. And luckily for them, the fielder did not gather it cleanly, and they were able to come through for an easy single in the end.
Yes, so Bennington Stapleton takes up the attack from the commentary booth end. He'll be bowling to Cody Horn. Fairly orthodox feel here at the beginning of a limited overs fixture, except that the fine leg is in the circle and the square leg is back. And he starts off with a poor delivery down the leg side, and they would concede 2 wides.
Now, on this occasion, we saw Hooper at the non-strikers end, backing up really well. Even before the fielder short fine leg could come across, he was already down at the strikers end. So this is better backing up and better awareness by young Shaman Hooper.
Yes, and the score is now 10 after 2 overs. Still full 8 overs left to be bowled with that wide. That was well played by Hooper. But one thing I noticed there, Butsy, is that Sunil put an additional man backward of point for Hooper on that delivery, with Hooper strength in that era.
Yeah, they know how potent Hooper can be through that backward point area. So they're trying to block up that area and asking the bowler going around the wicket to keep the ball tighter into the midriff of Hooper, who was able to just get on top of that one and run it down to third man for an easy single.
Yeah, not a good shot there by Cody, and you know that. The length wasn't quite short enough for the pull. The length wasn't quite short enough for the pull there, and that pass very, very, very close to off stump, coming in with the angle of Stapleton.
Now, at this stage, we're going to have to expect a very cagey contest, because that view really need to win this game, and
expect 2 from this delivery. So 71 runs are needed from 45 balls. Yes, go ahead, what's it?
Now, that view will want to get up in their power play. We'll be looking to get up in the region of at least 35 minimum, because with the power hitters in the likes of Captain Lyndon James still to come, they will fancy themselves being able to get 8-9 runs and over going into the back end of this innings.
That's a serious shot there by Cody. That one sat up, and he what they call a strap pull, a straight pull, straight down the ground there. Connery straight shot, not a Connery straight drive, a Connery straight pull. Yes.
Well, that's what we'll call a Connery straight slap, because he really slapped tried to slap the leather off that ball, and he really played it well with a lot of compose and ease.
Oh, that's a good delivery, and he gets the wicket. He gets the wicket there. That one seemed to be a bit of an off cutter. He came in to the batsman there, and there was Cody, and he missed it, and he was right in front of his stump and a judge LBW by umpire Scintilla.
Yeah, that one was a little bit slower. Cody was guilty of looking at where he wanted to play the ball before making contact, and that's where he was deceived, because he said to himself that is right there, and he was looking where he wants to play it. He should have been watching the ball onto the bat and just roll the wrist and get it into the gap there and get either one or two. It was not a delivery of any great merit. It was just a delivery with a bit of pace taken off of it. But even in the bowler's run-up, you could have seen that it was going to be a slow delivery. Everything looks a bit slower. So Cody would be kicking himself that he missed out to tuck that one into the mid-wicket area and get at least 2 runs.
So Captain Lyndon James walks to the crease with the squad 17 for 1 in over number 3, and we have 67 needed off 43 balls. That one is a very similar delivery.
Look like he got a bit of edge. Look like he got a bit inside edge onto that one. As we see very early the umpire walking away from the stump to get himself into a good position for if there were going to be a run-out opportunity. But the umpire looked very confident very early, and I think Lyndon will figure that the inside edge would have saved him there. But nonetheless, he was able to get a single and get the strike turning over.
So there was a signal there from umpire Scintilla, so he was of the opinion that that one came off the inside edge. Very, very similar to delivery to what he got Cody with, but Lyndon there was able to get something on that in the opinion of the umpire, and he was not out. He also got off the mark successfully with that delivery as well. Javid to continue from the Beckway end. As we see some slight adjustments to the field with Lyndon. Yes, there was a deep mid-wicket and a deep long on for that delivery, which is slightly different from what we had in the first over that Javid bowled.
Now, that view will be disappointed losing that wicket of Cody. But what that would have done, it gave Captain Lyndon James a lot more overs that he can play himself in and stay there to the end and shepherd his team to this total, which is what he likes to do, get himself in before he plays those big shots that he's capable of.
And that one is driven through the extra cover region by Hooper. He found the gap. It was aerially played, but it was in the gap, and once you find the gap, that is what is important.
That one was a touch fuller by Javid Harry, and Hooper essayed a big cover drive. He placed that one precisely between extra cover and mid-off, and that one sped away to the boundary over there to the double-decker stand. It was a welcome boundary by that view at this point of the game.
Good reply there by Javid. He pulled his length back and he went a touch straighter to the batsman to have a diamond delivery.
That one was bang on the middle stump.
And Hooper will be thoroughly disappointed with that. A good catch taken there, good look catch by Kader Ned. And that was a short ball on the long left leg stump, and Hooper swiveled, and he would have been saying to himself, I have 4 runs here for the taking. But he didn't find the gap as he did with his previous delivery.
That was a long hop, and one of those deliveries that we said is asking to be hit, is asking to be put away. Hooper set himself in a really good position. That's how much time he had to really dispatch this delivery, and he still didn't manage to hit it well, and found the man. There's 2 men behind square, there are 2 men behind backwards by square leg there, but for Hooper, and he found the man who is a bit squarer. He really should have put that one in the netball court. Yes,
and to join Captain James is his other experienced batsman, which is Darren Graves, left-hand batsman. He comes to the crease to replace another left-hander, which was Hooper. And the score is now 23-2. Another diamond delivery there by Javid. And he has continued to do a fairly good job for his team in terms of his restrictive bowling in the opening overs.
Yeah, Javid, he's having a good tournament so far.
Driven nicely down to long on. A little bit of use of the feet there by Darren Graves as he chipped into that one.
Oh, this partnership is very important to the Darview Explorers. I mean, these are the two most experienced batsmen in their lineup. We know Darren Graves is a very attractive left-handed batter who loves to express himself. I'm sure that he will still be confident here that he can stay there and build this important partnership with Captain Lyndon James as they really fight here to get their team across the line. A very important game, last game of the preliminary round, and everything is dependent upon this game in terms of where they go from here.
Yes, and indeed whether they actually go from here as well. So Bennington Stapleton will continue to Graves. The score is 24-2 after 4 overs. They need 60 runs from 36 deliveries, the Darview Explorers. They'll be disappointed that they didn't get at least 2 runs there. The one seemed to have come off the glove or the top edge of Darren's bat as he was trying to pull that one away. It eluded keeper Sween going over his head and went almost all the way down to the boundary, but the batsman only crossed for 1 run.
Yeah, Bennington looking to hit the deck hard there at Graves. Graves himself will be very disappointed that he didn't get more baton to that, being an open batter and very adept at batting the fast bowlers.
Well, Lyndon gets a lot of baton to that one, and that one whistles away behind square for 6, quite a flat hit as well.
And this is what I was talking about, because Bennington, very talented cricketer, but he's not express pace by any means. Not in the mode of Darius Martin, who we see have rattled about 3 helmets in the tournament.
Yes.
So far. So that's why I said Graves would have been disappointed that he didn't really get more baton to that. But Lyndon was well prepared to dispatch this delivery for a really good hit over square leg.
Right, so 53 runs needed from 33 deliveries, and it's a fairly good equation for the Darview Explorers. It is in their favor at the moment, but of course with some pressure applied and maybe a wicket or 2 here and there from the Saltpan breakers, then that can change very quickly, especially if they separate these 2 experienced batsmen. So 50 needed from 32 deliveries.
This chase is going to, as I said earlier, this chase is heavily going to be dependent on this pair. Captain Lyndon James, he would have gotten out some critical stages in the tournament so far for the Darview unit. So he will want to take it deep and bring his team across the line. And Graves will want to stay there with him and build that partnership.
It's a close one there. A judge to be going over the top.
A loud shout indeed by the Saltpan breakers. But from our vantage point, it certainly looked like it was bouncing a touch too much, as that one was more or less about middle and off, but would have been going over the top in our estimation from here. Good decision by umpire Michael Scintilla.
James comes into the strike now to Stapleton. Feeling there by 51 runs short mid wicket area. And now 51 runs are required from the last 5 overs, so that's just over 10 runs per over. 51 runs required from the last 5 overs.
Good, so yes, Botsy, Alanson, I think we're going to go down to the wire again. We've had 3 really, really good games, and this is the icing on the cake for the preliminary round.
Yeah, this is indeed a good way to finish the preliminary round of this tournament. That every game today is of tremendous importance to the semi-final stage.
33 for 2, and the Dve Explorers, they require 51 from 30. They are 33 for 2. Sunil Ambrose comes in, and the first delivery is played to the mid-wicket area by Graves. Graves moves on, I'll tell you in a bit. Graves moves on to 3. Lyndon James is there on 9, and it's 34 for 2. 50 required from 29 deliveries.
In T20 cricket, this will be a very easy equation for the batting team. And even a shorter version of the T10, I'm sure the batting team will still be thinking that they are in a good position once these 2 batsmen can stay at the wicket for some time.
This one is striking, and he is gone. Lyndon James playing across the line to a straight delivery from I make it Sunil Ambrose. Sunil Ambrose does the breakthrough, and he did say he's not letting up. I asked whether or not the teams, after having these 2 close contests before, if the teams would have gotten the measure of his unit. He said no, it's just a time to get his team back on top, and this is what they're trying to do here.
Yeah, a ill-advised shot by Lyndon, premeditating that paddle behind square. It would have been better advised to be looking to hit that ball down the ground, as there are acres of space down the ground to keep rotating the strike. Because these 2 batters definitely needed to bat another 2-3 overs together to really get themselves going.
But you alluded to the fact that this young man impressed all yesterday, and if he plays as sensibly as he did on yesterday was Thursday, I think they still do have a formidable pair at the wicket.
Yeah, I'm sure Captain Stapleton will hope that experienced Graves can keep him there with him.
Gets a good delivery from Ambrose. It comes off the pad. Let's see if that's the call. Yes, looks like umpire Byam is signaling that no. So the target is now 49. 49 required from 27 deliveries. The total 35 for 3. Graves stands up tall and punches this down to I make it the long on position. One more. 48 from 26. Matthews follow suits.
Yeah, I think Graves, James would have been attempting that stroke, hoping the ball outside the leg stump and sliding, looking to slide more into him across, more or less across him.
Graves whips this away. It's going to go into the boundary. That's definitely going to go into the boundary. Ned, a gallant effort, but that part of the surface here, the outfield here, that is really, really, really quick. And he would have had to be Usain Bolt's brother to get that one. 4 more to the... Because they move on to 41 for 4 at the end of over number 6.
Yeah, that was a really good shot by Darren Graves. He clipped that one, timed it really well. Kadir Ned had about 5-6 meters to travel to his left, but that ball timed so well that he had no chance of cutting that one off. this chase is going to depend a lot on Darren Graves spending some time at the crease, being the most experienced man in the batting lineup with the dismissal of James. So he will be expected to stay there by the Darkview Explorers.
Well, one of Alanson's favorite cricketers in this tournament comes on the ball now. Alanson, Westwick, Straw?
No, we'll just give him the credit for having a good tournament thus far, and I'm sure that he would want to keep up his performance, especially with the ball in this match.
The pad. One more to the total. Required now 42 from 23. 42 from 23 deliveries. Darkview Explorer. They're trying to keep their lives here in the tournament by winning this virtual knockout game for them.
Yes, Roxel. If they do not win, they are certainly out. It doesn't matter even if they tie in terms of scores and it goes to a super over and they lose from that. There is no way that they will be passing the run rate of the Grenadian Divers, so they need to win this game.
One more taken there. The required now is 41 from 22 deliveries. Graves getting one. Straw back to that area where he's been so consistent during the tournament.
It was some great feeling by young Rickford. He covered some really good ground and had a really good throw to the bowler's end.
More to the total, a wide.
Now this is we know Stra is very skillful with the ball. Bowls a slow ball real good and he hides it well from the batsman. But this is good ploy. This is a good ploy by young Matthews. He's moving around in the crease and not allowing Stra to settle into anything.
Well, probably moving around just a touch too much. In this case, he was trying to put this into the onside and it came off of the bat onto the stumps. Matthews is gone. Another wicket falls for the Darkview Explorers. They need 40 from 21 deliveries. The fall of the fourth wicket, I make it 44 for 4 Darkview Explorers in pursuit of 84.
Now we see the dismissal of young Matthews come down the track to an extent, and that one Stress saw him coming down the track and bang it into the pitch, and he tried to pull that one and miss it as he hit his body, and the bat swiveled, it tugged the ball back onto the stump. A very unfortunate dismissal for him, but that brought the other experienced batter in the lineup, in Andrew Thomas, who is